What's up guys, it's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Build It video, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of either misunderstandings, myths, mistakes, stuff like that. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to clear up, and then I'm going to list off a few tips and tricks. So this is just a total random did you know or you're mistaken video. Okay, first thing. And honestly, what kind of sparked this video was a comment on Facebook by somebody about the regional storage. She has just recently maxed out her regular storage and had made a comment about not needing storage items until she unlocks her regional maps. And that was like, wait, what? Because that's not how it works. And so I thought, how many other people out there maybe think that as well? So I wanted to clear that up for those of you who are under that impression. What happens is when you unlock a regional map, you are going to get a storage facility available to you when you reach a certain amount of population. Okay, so when you go to your regional map, and you shouldn't be unlocking this at all until everything on Missy's Building Guide 1 and 2 is complete. And Missy's Building Guide 2 is not out yet. Missy's Building Guide 2 is out. That is the updated version of Missy's Building Guide 1. But Part 2, Unleashed, is not out. Okay, so I'm talking from levels 25 to 29. That guide, you should not even be unlocking them until you reach level 29 and have followed all the criteria based on that, which would be basically just leveling up houses and converting them to gold epics. Okay, so when you unlock a regional map, what happens is you are going to be in a situation where you can build whatever home you want on this map, but if you build a regional home on this map, you have to have regional coverage. So how every house has health, police, and fire, you're going to have regional coverage. Now, regional coverage is similar to like a health or police or whatever, and you need it for regional homes, for whatever regional home you have. So for instance, if you have limestone, you're going to need the limestone regional. Okay, now right now we're on cactus, but these are purchased with regional currency, not regular currency. Okay, so how do you earn regional currency? You do not get regional taxes. Okay, so what ends up happening is you have to go here to these shipments, and that one's not here yet, so I'm actually going to go to a different map to show you guys what to expect. So what happens is you're going to build a regional home on your map, and you're going to build up population on your regional map. Now, when you hit the, let's see, regional here, you're going to hit the regional tab. This is where you're going to find the storage facility. Okay, there is no government tab when you're on your regional map. So you're going to look for your regional tab here, and you're going to click this. Now, the requirement is 5,000 regional pop. Okay, so once you earn 5,000 people, once you build your pop-up to 5,000 people, you're going to be able to purchase this facility. Now, this facility is 5,000 regional currency. So not only do you have to build up the coins to be able to afford the storage facility, but you have to build up your coins to give you the coverage that you need for your regional map. But you can build regular homes you can build any home you want on your regional, okay? Keep in mind, this is kind of tip number 2, and that is when you build regular homes on your regional map to a maximum upgrade, you convert those into epic projects. You do not convert regional homes or any other home into epic projects. Only regular residential homes at a maximum upgrade can be converted. Okay, so just a lot of people are totally unaware of that. Okay, so back to the storage facility. This is a one-time purchase for 5,000 regional currency. When you've reached the 5,000 pop, you pay the 5,000 coins, you get 20 space at once. That's permanent because you've unlocked that regional map. So the way that the storage works in this game is you're allowed to upgrade your storage to 700, okay? Once you reach the 700, when you click on this, you will not see a increased storage button here anymore. You will not be able to purchase storage for cash. That ability will be removed from your game, okay? So if that's something that you're, let's say you purchase regional, or let's say you purchase storage items with cash on your main for maybe another city, maybe you're transferring your stuff that way, keep that in mind that if you max it out, you're not going to be able to purchase it with cash anymore. Now, the maximum that you can upgrade it to is 700. Then what happens is each regional map that you unlock, you have the opportunity after reaching 5,000 pop to purchase the 20 space. Now there's 5 regionals at 20 space, that's 100. That's going to bring you up to 800 space in total. Then you have the temporary storage that is, given out in the Mayor's Pass or the VU Pass. That is the highest that you can go. Okay? Now, another myth, and I talked about this last week in one of my videos, and that is if you do a high point task in the Contest of Mayors, that you get a high point task in return, or a higher task. That is not the case. That is totally untrue. It is the worst advice that you can follow, is to do only your highest task forever and never put any thought into anything else because you're only doing your highest task. Do not follow that, okay? Don't. That's just all wrong. There are times when you need to do a lower valued task to open up possibilities for better tasks to appear. It's not just about the points value, but about the type of task. If you only have so many tasks that can be worth 3,000 points, and all of them are sitting in your list of a low points value, then they can't appear of a higher points value because there's no opportunity for them to do so. So you need to rotate those out so that they actually have the chance of appearing. That is what I did when I built the Contest of Mayors guide, was I built that technique up to say, okay, but when, why, how, what? And if you watch my Contest of Mayors videos, then you'll start to win mega every week. You'll completely understand, like, okay, this is why. All right, moving on from the Contest of Mayors. The next tip that I have for you guys, and I've talked about this many times in my videos, that is if you're trying to get the water to appear on the side of your map like this, then what you'll do is you'll put water on your map. The only way to get it to go past the railroad area is to put a waterfall on the mountainside. And I'm going to show you on my capital because that's where my stuff's sitting. Another quick tip, you guys, when you're doing epic projects, there's a timer after the cooldown timer, but there's not one if you go from capital to regional. So if you did one on your Frosty map, you can immediately do one on, let's say, your Cactus map as soon as you finish it. You cannot do more than one epic at a time. Okay, so right here, see how the water goes past the roadway here? The reason it does that is because I have water in front of it and I put a waterfall there. If I move that waterfall, the water is going to move with it. Okay, it's going to go away. So that is why you see how there's no water between them. That's why. Okay? So for those of you who maybe saw this on somebody's map and you were kind of confused and you're like, why can't I put water there? That's why. All right, the next thing here is epic projects. Quick tip. A lot of people will tell you to put everything in storage and only keep out the stuff in which you desire for the category in which you want to do. So if you want to do, let's say, transportation category, people's advice is to put everything in storage that's not transportation, like beach, mountain, gambling, whatever. Put it all in storage, then hit change, and then you're good to go. There's actually an easier way to do this. Pick the house up, put it away from everything, place down the category in which you desire right next to it, and then hit change. Then you can put the house back, okay? This allows you to do this without having to put 15 buildings in storage and then have to place them all back out again. Now, another tip for you guys here is if you do not collect, well, this is more just knowledge. If you do not collect your taxes at the 24-hour mark, they do not stack up over time. You get a maximum amount of taxes in 24 hours. That's it. You don't get any more than that, okay? Now, if you look here, the way that the taxes are acquired is, or, well, I guess that's not the word I'm looking for, accumulated or given out or whatever, is you have the 20% boost or 20% increase for your happiness level here, okay? So if your happiness falls in this category, in this line, then they do a 20% tax increase. The taxes are accumulated over a course of several things, actually. So you've got city level, city pop, city happiness. So all three of those things take a factor in. Now what happens is people get too focused on their happiness. Like, let's say you're designing, okay? They're so worried about, oh my God, my taxes. You're fine, okay? The taxes that you're going to earn in that short amount of time when they're unhappy is not going to be drastically low. It's not going to take very much. In fact, boosting your population to just for the purpose of taxes is stupid. It really is, because the taxes are pretty crappy in this game. They weren't meant to live off of, okay? It wasn't meant to fund your whole city. The game is predominantly focused on items. It's not supposed to be supporting you. The taxes are just like chump change, really. In fact, the amount of money that you spend on services alone after increasing your pop, it just wipes everything out, okay? So right now, I've been doing some designing, which is why my happiness is pretty low right now. But let's say that your happiness is stuck at 99% and you just cannot figure it out. You're like, why can I not get that 1%? What you're going to do is you're going to click your government tab here, and it's going to pop up all these little happy faces, okay? So you're going to go through, you're going to scroll around, you're going to look, and if you don't see anything out of the ordinary, you don't see any mad faces or, any traffic, any homes without service, and you still just cannot figure it out, what you need to do is, again, clicking your government tab, you see all of the buildings are highlighted. Okay, this building here is your storage facility, okay? This one right there. That building has an invisible pollution square. If it sits too close to the houses, it lowers the happiness by 1%. Pick that thing up and move it elsewhere. Give it a few minutes and you'll notice it goes up and down. Okay, that is the next tip, and that is you're looking for a building and you can't find it. Okay, so you looked around. Maybe you've looked all over hell and back and you're like, I cannot find this building anywhere. And you're just doing it like so. Let's say it's a park. You know it's a park, but you can't find the park. So what you should have done is clicked this and clicked park. This highlights everything that's a park. And it's going to show you what you have out and the coverage. That's going to at least narrow it down for you, make it a little easier to find. The next tip is, let's say that you are looking at this boat here and you don't know which category it belongs to. So you opened up your menu and you start going through every category and you just can't find this damn boat. There's a much easier way to deal with that, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to click on the building itself, and next to the name, there's a little icon. See that little icon there? That icon matches up to the category in which it belongs to. So that's the landscape category. Now, there's another trick that you can use, and that is you click the building and you click the little icon and it actually opens the category. Okay, so it's a good way to narrow it down quicker. You don't have to flip through everything like a crazy person. All right, the next thing, one of the biggest tips, you guys, read your menus. I cannot tell you how important that is. So many people, the information that they seek is right in front of them. Okay, so when you hold down on a house here, you're going to see in storage right here, it shows the amount. So I've got 23 of these in my storage, but it only says 9+. So for those of you who were questioning, does it allow you to store more than 9? Yes, it does. You just hold down and it'll show you exactly how many you have in storage. Okay, the bridges, the walls, things like that, they usually go up in price after you purchase so many of them, and then they usually have a cap, you know, an amount that they cap out to. How to get your, hang on just a second here. How to get your roads set up to never need upgraded. Only 3 roads can be red at any one given time. Okay, so if you get 3 roads red that are not near houses and don't affect your happiness, then you can do so without happiness going down and keeping your taxes at that 100%. So be sure to watch that video because there's a lot of really important information in the Never Upgrade Your Roads Again video. Next thing, when you are collecting your tokens off the top of your houses, you can only collect 35 tokens. Meaning, if you, let's say you have 35 tokens when you click on your little token tower, wherever mine is. I don't know where I put mine. It's over here. Okay, you click on this token tower. First off, let me back up a minute. Let's say that I just completed an epic project on my capital map here. And I want to know how much time I have to wait. I click on this token tower and it will tell me, there will be a timer at the top, and it'll tell me how much longer I have to wait before I can start an epic project again on my capital map. So if you don't have a timer and you don't see an epic project on your capital map, and you've done epics before, meaning your game's not broken, then what that means is you don't have a regular residential home at a maximum upgrade or in a coverage zone. Okay? So be sure to check that. Now, see how one says 35, one says 36. You can collect 35 tokens, meaning if they're on top of the houses, you only get to collect 35. So if you want to continue collecting them off the top of the houses, you have to use one, and then it'll allow you to collect it up until you hit 35 again. If the game gives you them, let's say in a pass or as a reward or whatever, then and only then can you exceed the amount that 35 amount. Okay. Next tip, Omega. If you want to exceed the amount of Omega items that you have in your storage facility, you can do so by paying cash for the canisters. So let's say that you have 35 space in total, like me, but I want to exceed the amount. I can let the canister get all the way down to the last time, or wherever, honestly, whatever amount of cash I want to pay. But if I get it down to like $1, okay, 1 Sims cash, I pay the 1 Sims cash. It's going to allow me to exceed the storage. Now, as Omega items cannot be traded from group member to group member, and they cannot be sold on the global market. However, you can sell them to the sim bubbles that pop up. Now, when you do this, it allows you to exceed the amount of Omega currency in which you can hold. So let's say that your Omega bank is 20,000 coins, and you've already hit the 20,000 coins. If you sell the items to the people, it's going to allow you to exceed that $20,000 amount. But when you go to collect those coins off the top of your Omega homes, similar to like the Epic projects, it's not going to allow you to collect your currency on the top of the homes. That comes into my next tip, and that is same thing with taxes. The Omega currency caps out. It does not, you know, continue to stack up over time forever. It has a maximum. So make sure that you collect off the top of your houses before you sell your items. This way you get all of your coins. So let's say that you had a ton of coins on top of your houses and you were selling a few items to the Sims people. It would be wise to max out your Omega bank with the coins first on top of the homes. That way you get the most out of it. Once you're maxed out, then sell the items to the people. This allows you to exceed the bankroll. Okay, that comes into the next tip, and that is, why am I not getting those bubbles to pop up? Well, typically you need to have that Omega storage about 75% full before the bubbles will appear. So let's say that you have like 7 Omega items out of 35. It's not going to appear, okay? Or it's not supposed to. So you're going to go forever waiting for a bubble. It's not going to happen. It's not supposed to happen unless they change something. But you need it right around 75% full. You always want to aim for right around $100 per Omega item. Little under, maybe like 97 or something. If they don't offer you a good price, then hit no and wait for it to pop up again. You do not need an Omega home to get these promotion things to pop up. But I have, let's say, like 1 drone and 1 control net that I didn't bulldoze. So I get them from those. Okay? The other thing is, if you bulldoze all your Omega homes, you only produce small canisters. That's why I only produce small canisters. Okay, another tip. Maybe you're doing the contest of mayors and you have upgrade 3 Omega homes. One of the things that you can do, rather than having it cost you $3 million, is lay a construction zone down, do the first upgrade on the Omega. It's always going to cost you 1 Omega item. And then you can either bulldoze or set aside and then place another construction zone down and then do that and so forth. This allows you to get that 3K task done in a matter of minutes and not cost you a shit ton of money. Okay, next tip. Let's see, what do we got? When you lower items, when you sell items on the global market, okay, what you can do is you can lower the item first in value, then increase in quantity. This is going to be much faster because you're going from the lowest price, not the highest. Whereas some people will say, okay, I'm selling 5 bread rolls. Well, I can either start at $13.80 and go down, or I can go all the way up to 5 and start at $6,800 and go down. So always lower your price first, not the quantity. Okay, then increase the quantity after the price has been lowered. All right, for those of you who do not know, when you post items to the global market, this blue check mark, it advertises it to people on the global market, meaning anybody that's on global that has this item unlocked can access your depot. Okay, so let's say that you posted popcorn and you have to be level 43 to have popcorn. That means if you only posted the popcorn to global, that means that only level 43 people and up are in your depot. Okay, because nobody else is going to be able to see anything. Well, you know what I mean. They're not going to be able to access it. You didn't post anything but the popcorn. But if you posted, let's say, wood, then that means that anybody who has that item unlocked can see everything there. So I had a guy in my group one time, and he was unaware that people could view every item in your depot. He thought it was just the item that you advertised. No, they can view every item, and they can sit there for hours. Sometimes what'll happen is I'll fall asleep on my game, like late at night, and I'll wake up and it's been like 2 hours and I'm still sitting in so-and-so city. Okay, so if you ever notice that you have a purchase, let's say you advertised a lock, okay, and it got purchased by Global. And so you're like, okay, I'm going to give it a few minutes and I'm going to post something because it was for a group member and you accidentally Globaled it. So that group member is now at your depot, you post it and all of a sudden it gets purchased again, but you didn't put it on Global. Well, that person's camping your depot. See, they want to see if you're going to put something else up. So they sit there and they open and close to see if you're going to do that. That's also a trick to getting some more items. Oftentimes, especially low-level players, when they see an item sell super fast, like a high-priced item, like a camera, they're like, oh, wow, that sold fast. I'm going to do that again, do it again. And they don't realize that those items are very valuable. So you can camp people's depots, and that is a good way to get a little extra items. Okay, uncollected money in your depot. A couple of tricks here. So let's say that somebody in your group, they left right during a rare trade. And all of a sudden, those items that you were trading got purchased by Global, but you didn't have anything on Global. Do not collect the money, okay? It's odds are the person that left your group after they were sitting in your city. And that way they knew you were going to post shit. They knew it would pop up as a Global name the moment that they left the group. So they went in there and they swiped them, okay? People do this shit all the time. But if you don't collect the money and you leave it sit, when that person rejoins, it will show their name. Now, a lot of people, out of frustration, they just collect the money. Don't do that, okay? If you suspect that somebody's being shady, keep it uncollected, wait for them to rejoin, and then see if their name appears. Always, and then you can screenshot it or whatever. That comes into the next tip, and that is when you post rare items for sale, let's say that you go on your feeder, okay? And let's say you've been hunting dozer in storage all day long and you're transferring it and all of a sudden you can't see it for sale. And nobody else in your group can see it for sale. And you're like, what the hell? I just spent all day hunting these. Do not do that, okay? The game does not have to show you anything. If they suspect hacking or for any reason at all, they may not show you those items. And it's not always rare items either. So what you should always do is post 5 of them for sale and purchase them. If you do not see those 5 for sale, do not post any more things for sale at all, okay? Otherwise, you could end up losing them all. And then test it maybe the next day. Test it with 1. See if you can see it. If you still can't see it, then you're going to have to figure something else out, okay? Maybe wait a couple of days and then try again. Make sure that you haven't been banned to Naughty Island, which most of the time people haven't. It's just the game being an asshole. Have some people that you trust check your city and see. Don't global it. Just let it sit there. Daniel will pick it up eventually. Okay. The next thing. Couple of easy tips here, and that is when you post items for sale for group members, make sure that you always click off that global button and make sure that you have nothing else here on the global market. When you do have something else on the global market, you will see a blue icon in the top right corner or left corner of the item. Okay, so like it'll go like that. Now, what'll happen is if I want to take this down, I can junk the item for 1 Sims cash. But I don't get the item back. It trashes it. So be careful about that. But it'll remove it from the global market. After 12 hours, if nobody's purchased the item, that global symbol will go away and the item will remain sitting there until either somebody else buys it or Daniel picks it up. Now, the way that it used to be is Daniel used to pick it up in 24 hours after it's... Okay, so like if you posted it to global, it was 24 hours and then he would buy it. But if you never posted it to global, then it was 72 hours. Now, I don't know if that's still the case, but that's the way that it used to be. Okay. Let's see. You can leave these coins uncollected. It's a good way to do the contest of mayor's task pretty quickly if you're in the lower leagues. Okay, another tip. Facebook friends. Maybe somebody was on your list and now they're not, and you're still friends with them on Facebook. So click this settings button here, click log out of Facebook, and then click log in with Facebook, and it will sync that list and hopefully update it, okay? Now, does this always work? No, but 9 times out of 10, this will fix the issue. Have the other person do it as well. Okay, this jumping symbol here, like this, it means that I have all of the items required to do this. Now, if I hold down on this, it shows me which cards that this goes to. Same with if I click this little star here at the bottom, if I click the little eye, it shows me what cards I can launch. That's what I have available to launch. All right. What else can I tell you guys? Woo, I've got 1 hour to do that. I totally forgot about all this stuff, you guys. Let me try to get this done, and I'll keep giving you guys some tips here. Okay, the next bit of information here is the factories. This here is $50,000 with no pollution square, 5 slots, doesn't make them any faster or anything like that. This is 5 slots, but $30,000 cheaper, but it does have a pollution square. Okay, so if you care about the pollution square, then go ahead and purchase the nanotech, when you can afford it, that is. All right, let me see if I can find that Omega house. There it is. Okay, trying to get these damn things done. So you can only have 3 construction zones down on your map at any one time. Notice how I did this upgrade and then I got one to pop up. Same thing. So once I do this, this one will pop up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I can go ahead and bulldoze this, and then bulldoze this one, and then my assignment is now done. Cool. That's a quick 3K task there. Well, quick if it quits loading. All right, so while that loads for 3 hours, hang on. Sometimes if I hit back, it'll fix it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this done since I know we're going to be ending war. I'm going to do that Green Valley. So, here in a minute. Also, you guys, if you're doing airport assignments, do not pre-pack the boxes if you have any intention at all of sending this away. Okay, so like let's say that you know you can't find a specific item here, and you're like, well, you know what, I'm going to request a new shipment. If I was to pack one of these boxes, I would not be allowed to click new shipment. I would have to fill them all before it would do anything. And so just keep that in mind, okay? All right. Another tip, which a lot of you guys know, when you click on your factory here, you do not have to go 1, 1, 1, okay? You can just simply grab the item, put it on the box, and then drag it across all of the boxes. And this allows you to put them all down at one time without having to go 1, 1, 1. All right? Okay. Another quick tip here. When bulldozing roads, because roads are expensive, which obviously not to you anymore because you went and watched my video and you'd never upgraded your roads again after that. Not unless you wanted to, right? Okay. So, quick tip here. Let's say you want to bulldoze a section of road. You're just going to go like this, and then you can bulldoze the section in which you want to bulldoze without having to bulldoze the whole damn thing. All right. Another explanation here is, and a lot of people do not know what this menu is for, but when you click on the house here, okay, so you guys are familiar with this screen. This shows each and every house here. So quick tip here is When you hold down, it shows you a max pop number. What this means is this is the maximum number of people that you can have in this resident when it's at a maximum upgrade with 0 pop boost. Okay? So if you look around here and you click, let's say you hold down on this house or whatever. See how it says 6267? That means that 6,267 people live in that house based on where it's placed. But if I was to put it around something where there's no amount or no pop boost, then it would say 1837 or 1836 because it has no pop boost, right? So for instance, when you come here and let's say you put a park down, right? Notice how these little blue lines go up and it says 1928. So that's going to boost these residents, any resident that is in this coverage zone. And that's the total number of people that I'm going to be going up in. Okay. But this has a cap. So the other day, somebody had posted on the Facebook group asking why they had 3 parks. They had 3 parks in a row, like right here. 1, 2, and 3. But the last one, it said 0. And they're like, well, why does that say 0? Well, what this means is you've boosted these homes to the maximum amount that you can for that category. Okay? You only get 100% boost. So if you look here, some of the blue lines are higher than others, right? Now, it'll tell you the exact amount in which that park is giving you based on where it's placed. Okay? So if it says 0, that means that you have the maximum amount of pop boosted for that category. So if you pick a different category, it'll go up. All right. Let's put these in storage here. All righty. Also, some people want to know what type of water to purchase. Well, that's totally up to you. There is a difference in the population and how you purchase it. So like this one is a little more expensive than the other one, but it's also larger. Another tip here is if you look very closely, let's say we put this right, let's say we put it right there, okay? And then we put this one, let's say right here. Oop. And let's say we do this right here. Okay, so oop. See how it appears as though there is water here? So what'll end up happening is your water will start to look blotchy in some areas. See the color difference, how some is dark and some is light? What this means is that space is actually open. But if you look, it appears as though there's water. It'll start to look really blotchy when it does that. You got to be careful for that. So you can either put tree there or whatever, whatever it is you want to put there. But the point is you have an open space there. Now, when it does that, it usually conforms really well to the trees. Usually you'll notice the blotchiness up against roads and buildings, okay? All right. The other tip, you guys, you do not need to have a road connected to the main road unless it's for services or, services or the factories. So, for instance, if I put a random road out here, okay, and I put a building on that road, let's say it's a park, okay, it's not going to give me a notification complaining that it needs a roadway. But if I bulldoze this and it has no road, then it will. But if I put, let's say, a hospital or a water tower or something out there, then it would. It would say, hey, we have no way to get the people to this service. It's not being accessed. So basically, if I was to put a water tower out here with a road that doesn't connect to the main road, it's going to bitch at me. Okay? So keep that in mind. But the parks and other buildings like landmarks and things like that, they don't matter. So houses, police, fire, health, and services. Those are the ones that are going to complain at you. The landmarks, they don't need building, or the landscape tab, they don't need roads at all. And they're totally fine. Okay. Another quick tip here, you guys. Let's say that you want to know what star shop you have or what star shop one of your teammates has. If you go to their map and you zoom in on their shop here, each shop has a little sign in front of it and it shows stars. 1, 2, or 3 stars. Based on what shop they have will determine how many stars they have in front of their building. As you can see, I have all 3 stars on all of my shops. So if somebody lies to you, well, you know they're full of crap. That they only have whatever it shows, in front of you. Okay, another thing here is, let's say that you are short a VU item and you have a assignment that you're doing, okay? And you're like, well, I really need this VU item. If you go here and you don't have the VU item and you go like this, let's say that I was missing the battery. I would click this and it would say, you don't have enough, pay the difference. It's $20 per VU item that you're missing. It doesn't matter which VU item it is, it's always $20. So if you're missing 2 batteries, it's going to be $40. Now, what people will do is they'll come over here and they'll use up their neo-simoleons to buy Omega here, or to buy VU from here. So let's say that they're out of neo-simoleons and they go to buy this battery. And it says, okay, dude, you got to pay 300 cash for the remainder of those coins that you don't have. You're not paying now for the VU item itself. You're paying for the currency so that you can purchase the VU item. So you're actually paying 300 or more cash, or whatever the case may be, versus just paying the 20 cash for the VU item. So never buy them from here, okay? Unless you've already purchased all of your, like, water, power, sewer, and, Omega roads or bridges or whatever the case is. If you don't have any other use for it, then go ahead and purchase from here. But just keep in mind that the prices, they do go up, and never pay the cash difference when buying VU items. Always pay the cash from the VU tower. It's never worth it to pay for the coins here, okay? There's no sense in paying $300 for the coin difference versus just paying for the difference at the VU tower. All right. Next thing here. Let's go back to this menu here. So if you look here, it tells you exactly how many epic projects that you have, and it tells you how many buildings are ready for upgrade. It tells you the total amount of homes you have, but it doesn't tell you how many are gold, silver, bronze. It doesn't do that, which really sucks. All right, so I kind of explained how this works here. Now, when you convert a regular residential to an epic project, it actually goes up to 2,411 people. I believe that's, yeah. So doing the epic projects is actually more beneficial than doing Omega in terms of high pop cities. Technically, you get more pop with Omega, right? Barely at all, but at least the epic projects, they give you something in return. You don't have to buy the drones and the control nets, but you have to buy the police, health, and fire. But regular residentials, epics, they take way less services too. So if you think about it, by the time you get done paying for enough or using up the map space to do the services and the coverage for Omega, the difference in pop is actually lower than doing the regular epics because of all of that wasted space. So it's actually better to go with the epic projects if you're doing a high pop city. Okay, so this kind of goes into the next thing that I was going to say, And that is when you look at this area here. This is your highland low. Whoa, there went my phone. Your highland lowland values. Okay. So let's say that you're upgrading a regular residential. What you'll notice is you'll start to build them up, and then when they hit a maximum upgrade, they are maybe a certain height, and they're ugly and they're short, and you're like, what the hell? Why am I not getting skyscrapers? You have to have upgraded that home in a zone, in an area where the land value is higher. This will convert those homes into skyscrapers. Now, there is a YouTuber that does stuff on this game, and in one of his videos, he tells people that you can only convert skyscrapers into epic projects. Now, technically, what he said is very misleading, because skyscraper is the really tall residentials. It's not any maxed residential. So people were getting really confused, going, well, I have a maximum, a house that's at maximum upgrade. Why am I able to do an epic project? It's not a skyscraper. Well, that's why, because it's a maximum residential that's at a maximum upgrade. It's not a skyscraper. Now, the skyscrapers are much taller, and honestly, it really doesn't matter if they're skyscrapers because you're converting them anyways. And so it's going to transform the look of it anyways. And that comes into the next tip for those of you who don't know, and that is each category of epics, they transform into a different style home. Okay, so make sure that when you decide which epic projects you want to do, which category you pick, that you pick one based on what you like the look of. Never pick it based on how many epic pointers you have. Pick it based on the look of what you like, and then focus on getting the pointers that you need to do what you like. Don't just, oh, well, I have these, so I'm just going to do those, and I'll just be stuck with this garbage. Okay, I made that mistake. I ended up years later bulldozing a lot of hard work because I hated the way my city looked. And ultimately, you want to look at something beautiful. You don't want to look at something you hate, right? So always go with what you like the look of, and then work your way around that. Now, here, let's say you're aiming for skyscrapers. You need to have upgraded them in a highland valued area, okay? So that's your wealth forecast. That's how this works. Luxury homes, premium homes, standard homes, okay? Now, when you look here, that was the next thing I was going to say. So when you go to the water here, you have Omega services here, and then you have regular services. Okay, Omega services don't just go for Omega homes; they go for all homes, but they have no pollution square. They cost Omega currency, and they give you 100 coverage per each one. They go up 10,000 neo-simoleons every time you purchase. So they are absolutely worth it for people to do because of the space that they save. I mean, if you look here, I have these here. These are my services for this whole entire map here. It's just these two, and then I've got those two, and those two, and then the water, and that's it. That's all I need. Now, if you look closely, I could get by with one of each, see? But I used to have a lot more people on my city, and I used to have a lot more services. I wanted to get it condensed as much as possible, save as much room, and be as confined as I could. Like, I did not want to have a map full of services. Now, before you're able to purchase the Omega services, which services are the best based off of coin to coverage? Now, I've done videos on this, but I'm just going to quickly list the ones that are the best in terms of coins to coverage. That is this one here for water, okay? And then you've got the coal power Then you've got the sewage, the basic sewage, garbage incinerator. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Those are the best ones to buy for coin to coverage ratio when you're not looking in terms of omega. Another quick tip here, you guys, if you want opinion bubbles to pop up, maybe you're trying to complete that little journal or whatever. If you start moving things around your city, such as like parks and landmarks, just start placing stuff down and moving it. The little Sims will start to talk. And you'll start to get a ton of opinion bubbles, maybe get some rares out of it, okay? All right. The next thing is you do not have to start an assignment for it to be considered valid in terms of production tasks. What I mean by that is this. Let's say that you have a task to make feed. You do not have to start the task when you make the feed, okay? You just have to start it before you pick it up. So let's say that you have 7 hours, let's say that you have 4 more hours on your feed. You don't start it when you start making the feed. You start it when you start picking up the feed. So let's say you've got them all made, they're all done. Now you come over and you hit start, okay? Then you go collect it. That works. You don't have to have it started the whole time you're making it, okay? This is how you're allowed or able to do so many tasks at the end of the week, because they allow for you to do things like that. Otherwise, there would be no way in hell you would be able to finish in time. Just make sure that you don't forget to start it by the time you collect anything. That's one of the problems a lot of people have, is they forget to start it. Okay. Let's see. What else? Never do the bulldozing method. The build and bulldoze method is really bad. I've talked about that before on my channel. Don't do that. Okay. How to read the leaderboard. Couple of quick tips here. Okay. When you look here, it says to be promoted. You have to go above this line to go into the next league. Then you remain in this league. And then the blue zone is where you get brought down a league. Okay, so just be aware of that. All the placements change based on whatever level that you, or whatever league you're in. Okay. What the hell? Who's this? Damn. What the hell? Yeah, something's up with him. Okay. When you click here and you go to your war screen, there's a couple of tips on the war screen that I'm going to give you guys, especially for you beginner players. As you can see, I have this blue stuff around my screen. What this means is that they have killed me. They've taken 100% of my health, and I am unable to attack them until I repair 100% of my city's damage. I can't launch boosters, I can't launch attacks or anything like that until I repair 100%. Okay, so I go to the war map. And right here, if I zoom in, it shows me the war score, meaning this is how much this person has scored this war. This person scored 0, this person scored 7,320. If I zoom out, those numbers disappear. I can click on this person's city and click the little eye here, and it pops up the war log. It tells me their score, it tells me their rank in their club, if they're a member or vice president, what level they are, who's hit them and for how much, who laid jackpots, how long the jackpots are good for. So this information, this war log can tell you a lot, okay? All right, all the little green dots are dots implying that I have attacks available and ready in that category. So I click the category, and then the green dot indicates that I can actually attack for that particular card. All right, now, it says 11 on my cards over here. What this means is I have 11 cards ready for upgrade. Now, if you get this assignment that says upgrade, but you haven't unlocked it yet, it does work. So if it says unlock versus upgrade, it still works, okay? For that assignment. Only do those assignments if you actually have a chance at winning. So if you already know you're not going to win, do not waste those assignments. Just say, screw it, it's not worth it, okay? They are very limited. They get very expensive the higher you go, and you're going to wish that you saved them for weeks where you actually had a chance. All right, so when you click on it, you'll see cards here. You're going to see numbers. This says 66 out of 40. I need 40 cards to be eligible to pay the 48 keys to upgrade this attack. I currently have 66 out of the 40 that I need. That's what that means. Okay, so I'll use up the 40, and then I'll have the remainder amount left over towards the next upgrade. That's what these grayed out numbers mean. So for instance, this here says 20 out of 30. That means I need 10 more cards, and then I can pay to upgrade it, which is going to cost me 64 gold keys. Okay? All right. Also, when looking at your war cards, make sure that you always read your menus. For instance, a lot of people see Doomsday, and they think, why would anybody want this? It's only worth 100 damage. No, you have to read it. Okay? It says, this city, okay, it says, the squeaky disaster hits all of the opposing club's cities at the same time. Okay? So anybody who's not under shield, if you launch this attack, you're going to get 100 points per city that you hit. So let's say they had 19 people that were out of shield and you launched it, then that's what you're going to get, 19 times 100. All right. Next thing. When you, hang on just a second here, you cannot launch more than one of the same booster on the same person. So like, let's say that you did an energy pump. You can't launch 2 energy pumps on the same person. What else? Oh, your war coins, okay? The war store is not supposed to be available to you your first war. So your first war, you're going to attack. This next war, you'll have the war store available. It's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Another thing here, you guys, is when you do your war simoleons and stuff, depending on if you're an avid war player or not, will depend on what you spend them on. If you're just somebody doing the contest of mayors, it's good to get some energy pumps if you have a lot of level 2 and level 3 jackpots, because this will allow you to launch multiple attacks on one city, right? Before the jackpot timer runs out. Otherwise, it's just a waste. So try to use all of your war coins on jackpots. That's going to give you double points when you attack somebody. When you purchase something, the cost of that goes up. So if I was to purchase, let's say this thing here for 500, once I purchase it, I can buy another one, but it's going to be 750. And then another one up to 1,000. Now I can only purchase 3. As you see up here, it says 0 out of 3. That's what that means. Now, sometimes the rank of the booster increases just the time, and sometimes it increases like the regeneration amount. So let's say it's a ×2 energy boost. The next one could be like, let's say, a ×4 energy boost. The jackpots, it's always double points, so that just increases the duration. So 10-minute jackpot versus 20-minute jackpot. Okay. All right. So you guys, that's probably going to conclude our tips and tricks video for right now. This is just part 1. A lot of these were already listed in some of my previous tips videos, but I'm just going to go through a lot of the tips and tricks, because even though some people hear them and see them, they forget them, or maybe they didn't watch that video, or whatever the case may be. This is part 1. Part 2 is going to be out tomorrow, and we're just going to keep going and going and going until we get through it all. Okay? There's a lot of random little tips that maybe you didn't know. Even people that have been playing for 5-6 years are like, wow, I never knew that. There's always something to learn. I mean, there really is. Okay, so another thing. Quick tip here for you guys. Let's see if it's still there. Okay. If you purchase a facility, let's say that you bought one of those like $5.99 bundle packs that said like a hospital or something, it will put it in here as stored, okay? But if you place it, you're not going to be able to store it again. It's stuck out there. So don't place it until you're ready to use it. That's the only time you'll see those in storage. The Maxis gives you 1 VU item a day to purchase once every 24 hours, and it's usually priced between 1,700 and 2,000 coins. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video, and I will see you guys next time on part 2 tips and tricks. And I am about to actually go start my live stream to finish designing my city. So I will see you guys over there.